could be in the races. I don't know.
Look, you could be in the race. I don't run very fast, but that's all right. I'll take it for what it's worth.
Neither do I.
Look at this. Early on, you see a bit of a disciplined split here. You see 3 members from the side of Tox Gaming. They flood into the cinema. They want that B hill early, but on the opposite side of the map already, GB, they've got 3 members of Simplicity going from C to A. They're flooding. They're going for a double home hill setup. Now 4.
Yeah, and just for context as well, just so everyone at home is aware, Tox will be in the cog in the blue, and then you're going to have Simplicity. They are going to be the swarm in the red. And as it currently stands right now, 2 of the home hills are going to go in favor of Simplicity. They will have control of C and A presently, as we're on board now with Nasty, who's looking to go on the hunt here, try and find players. They managed to take out Solars, and now that's going to open things up. They're going to try and wolfpack their way over to B. 1 player is going to be left alive. It's Explosives. It's going to toss out that stun there, catching a few of them off guard. Can Explosive be the hero? No, he won't. And Simplicity, they're going to get that first round win.
That's a hell of a first round by Simplicity. They played it to perfection, and I'm going to go back to something. After they got that double home hill setup, there was a big flank coming through where Zerpting was waiting on the window. He had his main man to his left, Zerp and Jerp, the gruesome twosome, being a great tag team there, getting the hot tag, getting the kills when needed to be done, and they got everybody from Tox on their back foot easy.
Another interesting note as well to bring up here is that no one from Tox decided to use a respawn. Bear that in mind. No one decided to respawn in. It was almost as if they played that round out like a pistol round in CS. It's like whoever gets that first, whoever wins that battle, we're just going to move on with it. And I think that's very interesting.
Well, I actually think because of how well Tox did in a lot of their scrims, I think what you're going to see is Tox may or may not have done that just simply to see if Simplicity would tip their hand. Maybe show what they might want to go for, might want to build to. Because if you're that dominant early on in a brand new game like that, it's not like you really get to see a lot of that deep meta that you may be used to. So you want to see what teams are thinking about doing, and then you just counter it because you've got the player skill per pound.
Okay, you're going to have 3 players on each side here with utility. There goes that stun. It's going to be sent out there. Summons now playing against 3 members here. And I like the way to Simplicity, they're just rolling together here. Summons wisely enough, just backing away, going to his teammate Solars and getting that support from him. Playing the Angles game. They do have C. They're both going to be earning points here on B and C. They'll have that slight advantage for the time being.
So right now, this fight is a big stalemate. Simplicity might have 3 there, but they've basically, Tox has 3 Lancers as well to counter it. And you see they throw the smokes out, clear out the members from Simplicity from their home, because on the opposite side of the map, Simplicity could not push up on anybody. So there was a big-time stalemate early on. Kyle breaking secondary ice, though, early in the round. No real initial win in anybody's favor, but now Kyle tried to make something happen. Explosives on his back foot, fighting against the legend Nasty and GB. That was a big kill.
Yeah, huge
3 big
kill
kills,
there.
4 big kills.
Indeed, indeed. It's going to be crazy. That's all of them down. Explosives. He's going to come up off. Actually, he's out of it, and that's going to be the end of the round there. Cog is eliminated in Simplicity. They're starting this one hot. Did not expect to see that happen at all.
Like Drake said, they went back-to-back, baby. They've gotten 2 rounds on the board already. And Alex, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Sorry, GB, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think one of the things that you've seen is Tox is on their back foot a little bit. They're shooting their Lancers. They're getting great team fire in, but somebody has to be that spearhead again. Early in Gears 4, you had a guy like Praise that could go down into that and be that spearhead position. You could have Mental go out and get that first icebreaker kill. We saw there in that round, Kyle was the first one to push up and get a kill, which opened things up for the rest of his team. So you see what Simplicity's trying to do. They've already upgraded to Shocks. I think Tox is going to have to match them, though, because that tells me that Simplicity might be going for a drop or a boom on their own home.
Okay, so Marxa has been put down, and then you're going to have the Shock there as well. Let's keep in mind that Marxa is going to be building into the incendiary grenade. You can also, but I think really the Marks is just good enough on its own that you really don't want to try and change that up now.
Well, it gives you that great power weapon, that angle, that 10-shot with that 10-shot clip with a 3-shot kill capability. And now you can put something in that center line to really help you out.
Here goes Zerpting, but he's going to go down there. Praise is going to get the better of him in that engagement. That's now going to leave us with 2 members of Simplicity down. Actually, on the other side, too, you'll have Tox with 2 members out of the fight. See if they're going to be investing into this one. Mental does come back into this. Praise still going to be down. Is he out?
He does get picked up.
He does get picked up, so they're not going to be using at Respawn quite yet. Now, as we look over here at Nasty, who's had quite the game thus far. He's 3 eliminations, 0 deaths. Simplicity have been on fire, and he sees the lay of the land. Tox spread out here around B, but no one's captured it yet.
Again, we got the stalemate. Both teams waiting for somebody to make a move, and they know on the side of Tox, Summons with that Marksa is as deadly as they come with it. He was so accurate. He made video after video of it on YouTube of how good he was with the Marksa, the Boltok, the marksman weapons. And so you know nobody's going to push out very early. On the side of Simplicity, they have to use that shock, I think, for crowd control. They've got to push somebody out of their position now using that shock grenade they have in the back pocket of Nasty.
Let's see what Nasty elects to do here. It's going to be our player to watch in this sequence. Rotation all the way around, and here comes the push now. And the shock is going to be out. He's going to try and stop them for the time being. Knocks down Explosives. He's going to be out of the fight here. Mental now fighting this one by himself. Will have the support. He does manage to take out Zerpting, and the shock doesn't do the job that it needs to get done here. Explosive gets picked back up. That's going to be a player down from the fight, and they just need to wait. And there goes Mental right inside just to getting that better position, jockeying for that positioning. And now it's going to be Tox that manages to capture A and C.
Well, what needs to happen is on the opposite side of the map, Simplicity now has to use their numbers, because if 3 members of Tox are tied up over there, 2 members are got to be outnumbered somewhere else. If it was a 2v3 there, you've got a 3v2 somewhere else. You've got to flip the map on its other side, on the other side of its head. So you've got to make sure that you do that push, which they did. They get the B hill under the control. But now we fall back into that stagnation. Nobody has anything to move. I
want to make note as well, because they managed to take the Simplicity home, the shocks have now gone to Explosive. He has possession of that utility. They have the Marksa. That means that they essentially created an iron curtain here, and it's going to be very challenging for this team to try and break through. Can Simplicity make this happen? Here comes the push now. Kenny looking to get in their faces. Tox manages to just dial back Jerpy. He's going to get that first kill on Praise, a headshot, locking things up, and that's going to give him A control here.
You look at the flood out. Here you go. Kenny on that first cover. Zerpting going to push up a little bit. They need to make sure that they call out this member right here in that mid-cut. Solar's there with that Marksa, but he's going to be able to overwatch that player in the mid-cut. Explosives now trying to kill Zerpy, but on Jerpy and Nasty stuck inside the juice. They throw the shock, so Mental is stuck on that cover. Nasty having been taken out by Explosive. And you see all by his lonesome, Jerpy is caught inside that, but we almost got a free one. 3 members of Tox beginning to wolf pack around the map.
And there you have it, the domination, and that will be it. Everyone was eliminated, and finally Tox, not a sentence I thought I'd be finding myself saying, Tox gets on the board at round 3.
3.5 minutes for that round for them to win. We saw the first round go about 1 minute and 15. The second round went about 1 minute and 20, and that one goes 3.
But I think that was just intelligent play
slow play?
from Tox. Slow play, right? In Gears 5, you can do that. There's no tossing smokes and stuns, hoping that I'm really just throwing darts at the wall, hoping to hit a bullseye. This time around, you got to be methodical about it. I like that. I think it's pretty good. So the flashbang has been placed.
Tox will go ahead and build up their other home hill. They'll get the secondary home hill tree beginning to get built up, so they might be working toward a power weapon, might be working toward an explosive, but you see both teams deciding to do that. This is a legitimate chess match. One of the best minds in the game is on the side of Simplicity and Kenny. Then on the other side, you've got Explosive and Ashes. So you're really just watching 3 of the best minds to have ever done it go at it right here, trying to outmaneuver one another.
And Kenny is very familiar with this Tox roster. A lot of the teammates, or a lot of people here he teamed with in the past when he was a part of Optic Gaming. Now here we have Kenny, who gets that forward position here. Praise and Solars are going to be right in front of him. Kenny looking for that window of opportunity potentially to push. B Hill right for the picking. Who's going to draw first blood here? It's a question on everyone's mind, as they're going to be earning points right next to one another. As you see, they have their home hills. Some nades have gone out, but nothing's really going to come from that. Those shock grenades.
The shock is in the middle, and Nasty's going to get pushed off now because Summons has the Marksa, but he moved up with the Nasher to try to get a really big brick thrown at Nasty and really damage him. And you see on the other side, Kenny still in this stalemate against Praised on that first cover. And Kenny goes for a little reload action, just trying to bide his time, trying to continue to get information to call out to his teammates. And again, I love how slowed down these rounds get, where it's just who's going to make the first mistake.
Yeah, and I'm okay with this. I like the idea for Tox at the very least they seem to just thrive when they're having that time to have the conversation and break down their strategy. I think that is where this team really begins to shine.
Well, they're waiting for people to get impatient. They know sooner or later, even though it's a virtue, patience runs out for most teams. And most teams will eventually make a push. They'll try something silly, and they got to capitalize on that.
But will Simplicity be that team to do it?
I
I
don't
think
has
so.
smoke right here. So Zerp is probably going to use these smokes in the way that they were always originally intended. As soon as it hits, it explodes, and it's a thick, dark cloud.
Yeah,
now he can move around.
You have to point that out, Colin. I'm glad you did. As soon as that nade goes down, unlike Gears 4, it instantly pops, and that's going to open things up. But instead, it's Tox that manages to get the better of that situation. Is Kenny, who is playing that forward position by the pillar. He's going to be out of the action now. There's going to be 3 players left alive. Zerpting, he's calling for it. Is he going to spawn back in? He gets the call to come back into the fight. Now you see at the top of the screen, folks, the COG team will win in 56 seconds, so just under a minute.
That's how long we've been on a single hill. By the time you get the second hill, it basically is just throwing you into overdrive. You were in second gear, you've gone to third, fourth, maybe even fifth gear now with those 2-to-1 points because of the changes now. 2 gears 5. Each hill is worth a point, not just 1.5 for the 2-to-1 hill cap.
Simplicity need to make a move here. What are they going to do? They have a few shock grenades that they can take advantage of. There goes the shock. It's going to force back one of the members of Tox, and that is the utility that you want. And when you manage to land it right there, it is so punishing them. Fortunately, that other shock does not connect the way that they want it to. There it goes yet again. And now Tox, they get forced back even further, but they're still going to win this game in a few seconds here. They have to start decapping some of these points. They have to push into C. I don't think that anyone's going to get there quickly enough. Nasty not able to come out on top in that exchange against Explosives, who gets the better of them there. C will be locked down. 2 players from Tox there for the pickup. And in less than 5 seconds, this is going to be a wrap. GG. Tox managed to come back into this one, 2-2.
So I call those last gasp, all right? So you see almost like a last gasp of air before you die. Simplicity basically said, let's get all of our utility together. Let's get everybody off respawn. We have one more shot at this before we are completely out of time and this round is over. They used the last gasp, but Tox still had the foot on the throat and you didn't get much air in them lungs.
And the thing is, when you are taking that time to deliberate and discuss what you want to do, time is ticking. The game is not going to wait for you to make that decision. So you're at that point where you've been waiting for that opening, and Tox isn't going to give it to you. That Simplicity have to make a decision, and by the time that decision's actually made, it all just falls to pieces. Now, interesting note here, that what we end up getting placed down is a retro in the Pergola area.
But Tox has now got 2 weapons for 2 different parts of their team. Summons in Gears 4, such a great Marksa player, an amazing marksman, and now they've given Explosive a weapon that people were literally shaking in their boots, quaking at the knees for him to not have, which is the Retro Lancer. They've given Gilbert, or Explosive, the Retro Lancer. They've given Summons the Marksa, and they've given them all of the secondaries they need to basically overwatch and take control of this theater area. So Simplicity is going to be in a tough spot here to try to get that drop, and they do get the drop, but they're gonna have to get out.
And you mentioned the Overwatch area there, right? Looking over their opponents. Oh no, but Kyle, he's gonna connect there against Mental, but unfortunately takes out Jerpy in turn. That's gonna be a rough one there, as Kyle does get down and will be out of the action for the time being. But Explosive, with that retro, was watching them, watching them like a hawk.
He took their smokes. Explosive just moved into the spawn side of Simplicity and stole the smokes that were not picked up by Simplicity off the respawn.
That's
so here
crazy.
It goes, and it explodes. He's now taken away their vision from that window. That's a heads-up play. That's 200 IQ, maybe 210.
Yeah, 215, dare I say. 3 players on the opposite side here, Explosive. He's going to be looking at them, and when they push through that choke, they're going to get shredded by that retro and the Lancer fire that's coming from Praise on the other side. Oh, but Zerpting, they're going to force him away. Explosive is still there, though. They know that he's there. They have to make a move.
I don't know if they can get a stun there, if they can get one of their players, one of their back spawns there with a stun to possibly, they got to get Kyle maybe in that area. Kyle and Jerp are the 2 ones with a stun. They got to get a stun onto Explosive to stop him from just shredding them as they come over that cover. Maybe hop, maybe get up in his face with that retro still out.
And he's by himself here, just Explosive He has, I think, he has one teammate that's going to be right next to him. Yes, he does. He has a teammate watching his flank as he patrols around looking at that ATM side.
And this is just the information center. He is basically the CIC for the COG in the game. The CIC, the Control Combat Information Center. That's explosive right now.
He's Jack.
He's the jackpot, baby.
Oh, no, but this is where things start to fall apart. Explosive has to be careful. Does he get out of dodge? No, he's going to go down, and they manage to swarm it at the perfect time. Praise now having to deal with 3 members of Simplicity, and that's going to be short work there for Simplicity, who get down both players. They're going to be out of the fight here for the time being, and they get B control. Toxo will still be in a position to win this one out, Colin, as you see 45 seconds and counting. If they continue to hold on to their A-Hill, all they need to do is just hold their home. There goes the drop shot.
Too early.
Oh, and it's short, and it doesn't connect. You hate to see it happen, folks. He doesn't get the other one as well. A brief melee frustration. And with one hill, Tox are looking to win this one out. They have to make moves. They got to push in here. Kenny, he's going to get aggressive, but no area for Kenny to live up to the Kenny Bounce name. And Tox, they will surround this and patrol this area and not allow Simplicity any kind of quarter whatsoever. And that should give them the lead here, 3-2 in this game.
It's going to sound a little redundant, but I think it's the #1 thing we got to remember with this Tox team. The number of mistakes you can make against them is 0. The second you make one, they will make you pay, and they will take advantage.
Where was the mistake, though? Because
the missed drop shot. Kenny had 2 down. Somebody had to go in, try to get the revive. He drops that drop just on the wrong side of the cover. They both get out. They get up. And then when he shoots the second one, they both get to roll away from it. Neither of them get damaged enough to even go down off of either drop shot. You make a great play to get B. You make a great play to get the power weapon, but you fall short with the drop shot itself. You don't get the kills. You don't get the hills. There's the round.
And now we're going to get a long shot in play. So I wonder how that's going to shake things up here a little bit.
Especially with who you're going to put that long shot in the hands of. You've got some great marksmen over there for Tox. Tox now with a Marksa and a long shot. And on the side of Simplicity, they've given up a lot of utility and a lot of power weapons early to Tox.
Another thing really that has been impressive in this game is the investment on both sides. We've seen players invest a lot into rounds when it comes to their respawns. But in this game, both of these teams have been extremely disciplined with how they do this. It's like 1 or 2 respawns max. And it really just goes to show, and a nice connection there, Reserpting onto Praise. It just goes to show how these players are just reading each other. We're not just watching a match of Gears of War here, folks. We're watching a chess match play out. It just so happens to be with giant hulking beasts on each side.
That giant hulking beast named Kenny right now has the drop shot in hand, but takes the first shot to the side of the dome. That might have given him a little bit of a haircut. He has to think twice about poking his head out. He shoots the first drop. He's going to move up to that fountain cover now. And GB, I'm telling you, Kenny is in a bad position because anywhere he goes, there is somebody looking at him with some kind of power weapon. He is stuck there now. He's moved up a little bit further. He's taking a little bit more control, but he's basically stuck in a corner.
Oh, he wasn't scheduled for a haircut today, but Solars made sure that he got one. And now Solars rolls away. He got 3 members of Tox. They're going to be right next to one another. Explosives on the overlook position. Zerpting, though, he's trying to even the odds here and help his teammates out, keep them in this fight very much so. And that is going to be the case here. Zerpting will own the platform. The flashes, the stuns, everything's going to be in action here, forcing players away from this.
That's a bait. That's a bait by Tox. They left Praise down in that position, and they left Solars at that picnic table. Praise stayed right there on that cover, allowed for them to push up, because then Solars is just looking at them with a cross. He's able to put any amount of damage he wants on them, and all Praise has to do is look over that cover after he gets behind it and shoot down on them.
Drop shot, though, is going to be up in 30 seconds. And the incendiary grenades as well. They're going to be up as well in 15 seconds. Is anyone going to make any moves for them? No one can really sacrifice a position here. If the player that's going to be located at their home for Simplicity goes, it's going to be such a long run. You have another player that is near the cinema, but they got to worry about that drop shot battle that's going to take place in less than a few seconds, less than 5 seconds now. This is where the action's going to start to commence here.
I love what I've actually seen, though, because both teams are literally so tepid about making that first mistake that the B hill is still yet to be captured. This is a 2-minute round already on singular point accumulation.
But the advantage has to go for Simplicity right now. The reason why I say that, they have the drop shot. And these players are going to be in cover, and that drop shot will go right over it if they're not careful. But beforehand, the Swarm, Simplicity, had that drop shot. I forgot who it was. I think it was Kyle who had the drop shot. Did not nail those shots in the pass.
Where he got the team kill in the first round, and then the second shot was just thrown.
Yeah.
And then Kenny did it later in the round when they got the respawn. So they have the respawn drop here, and you see Kenny playing inside Juice. He's doing the same exact thing that Explosive does on the opposite side of the map. Kenny is gathering all the information possible and is trying to relay that to any of his teammates that he can get. You see Solar sitting on that picnic bench. That's a long shot in his hand, ladies and gentlemen. He's waiting for somebody to poke out.
And Kenny's going to be that player to push out. Goes Explosive. Explosive with that mark. Oh, no, that is going to suck. But Kyle gets the connection with the drop shot. That's going to take down 2 players from Tox. And maybe this is the moment that they were looking for, because now the Swarm are going to be in a position to win this one, as you see at the top of your screen, folks. Simplicity, they're in this spot. They can win this one. They got to hold this one down. They got to hold the homes. They weren't able to decap it and deny them the points, but they will have that slight lead here. And they have not been able to fully capture C, so now the time is going to be ticking, Colin. This is looking good for Simplicity.
So what you're going to need here is somebody to push up and try to bait and switch. You're going to have to try to get somebody with a little bit of damage on him to get that cover. But you see Kenny with a beautiful over the shot cover.
Oh,
and
Kenny!
a dub for the Kenny bounce of old. And I'm telling you right now, Golden Boy, they're going to get that hill. They're going to get this round. And it was not easy. This was hard fought. This was uphill, 15 mountains in the snow with no shoes on.
And you definitely want to wear shoes in the snow, folks. There you go. We got a match here, folks. I don't think anyone was expecting this. Not to take anything away from Simplicity, but a lot of the teams that have had roster shuffles coming in to the Summer Series Invitational, it has not been the best of performances for them. But here now, Simplicity, they're going toe-to-toe against a team that has won 17 out of the 19 championships in the Gears Pro circuit for Gears 4.
So as pretty as that headshot was from Solars, I believe the double is a lot prettier than that, because it was the round sealer for Simplicity. And here we go again, first round of the second half. So respawns will reset to their longest availability as we go into the second half. And instead of having a B hill, we'll have the other half hills, the DEF hill. They'll go down to the bottom side of the map for the neutral hill.
Ooh.
Great
Good connection there with Jerpy, but that is going to be so difficult for Tox. Now I want to know how they're going to get out of this one, as they have players down. Let's jump into a listen in with Tox. All right, so we just got word. We're going to go into that listening a little bit later, and that's perfectly fine. I know that we're all curious about that, but what I'm also curious about is how Simplicity is doing this against Tox. What is working for this team?
Simplicity is actually one of those teams that, coming into this, when you look at their roster from top to bottom, they have a legend in Nasty. He is a 1v1 king from the old Gears days, but now he's come back and he knows the importance of what it means to play a game type where each round and each life means everything. And you see they're going to lock out that sniper rifle for 3 rounds. They're going to give utility to Mental. They're going to give him his own set of grenades. But to continue my point from earlier, you've got a legend in Nasty with the brains of the operation in Kenny Bounce, and then one of the best and middle round call-outs possible in Affinity, their coach. And then you've got pure soldiers, Zerp, Kyle, Jerp. They can do whatever you need them to be done. We talked about the hierarchy of Tox. There's just as good of a strong hierarchy on the side of Simplicity.
We're starting to see things develop here, folks, and it has been very interesting. Also, eliminating that, or locking out, I should say, that sniper for the next 3 rounds, that has certainly been a bane of their existence. Kenny gets that drop shot and manages to get out of dodge with that one, but needs to get around this corner. And look at that there, manages to get another one with that drop shot. Send him home. That's going to be Solars. You're out of here. Back to the respawn you go.
Kenny is playing like this is the last game of his life. He is putting on an absolute clinic, an absolute show. He does not want to lose to his ex-teammates in Tox Gaming. They go up 5-3, and Golden Boy, I'm telling you, Simplicity's playing with a different level of energy than any other team I've seen play today, and I think you're going to need that against Tox.
You sometimes need to have the before the match, when I used to compete, I would say, we just have to be so blindly delusional that no one will beat us ever. It doesn't matter who it is. We just have to constantly believe. And I've lived my life with a mindset of blind delusion. That's how I've made it this far. So I think that simplicity, having that confidence and that mindset, it is showing here. This team, and you're hearing it, we're here. We're here.
I don't know.
They're playing like this is the last game of their lives.
I love the intensity on the face of their coach, Affinity. That man is one of the OGs, and to see him pound his chest, you know he's in this heart and soul. He wants this more for his team than he may have ever wanted it for himself.
Now let's see here, as we have Jerpy and Zerpting working together.
Jerp and Zerp, baby.
The Jerp and Zerp combination. Well, you know what? I want to hear what's working for Simplicity. Let's jump into a listening with the squad that's currently up 5-3.
Go close one now. Go close. Take B side. Take B side. Angle, just get down. I can't. Do not push that. That's a bad one. Get on the hill. Get on the hill if you can. Someone get on the hill. We have a kill. We have a kill. Good job. Okay, good. Get on the hill. Get on the hill. Oh, wait. J cap. J cap. Cap. On the hill. Alone on the hill. I'm fighting out.
Jake is down in E.
Jake and Kenny. I'm flanking E. What? Summons is full.
Alright, let's just relax. We're screaming right there.
Nice, Kyle. Take your time, Kyle. You have all.
Everybody go on home on spawn. As I tried to earlier.
It's not over.
Yeah. Everyone go to our home on spawn.
Not over. Okay. Two there. He's there. We wiped him. Marks. Take your time. Take your time. Nice. Right before it. Oh, wait. I fucking died. No, it's around. Don't give him a
It's not over.
Good shit. Let's go, sir! No. I flash it.
Listening there with Simplicity was certainly interesting, but what's been going on screen, it has been all Tox. And I think the reason being, they've removed the drop shot for the next 3 rounds, locked it away from Simplicity. And Simplicity have been putting that weapon to work. Even though they had a few blunders in the beginning, it is very clear, Colin, that this team has gotten very comfortable with this weapon as this match has rolled on.
Something that I actually want to point out more than anything else is Mental was in a 1v1 for about 10 seconds by just living. Help came from the backside of Simplicity, but it was too little too late. Mental was able to down the first one, and by the time the help came for Simplicity, the help also made it for Tox, and Mental lived literally 26 seconds in a 2v1 situation.
Well, he may not be able to live that long if the utility is used properly by Simplicity. There goes the Incendiary. He's going to force some of these players back. Solars, he's going to eat a lot of that damage, down to 34%, but does manage to get out of there with his life. And now time continues to tick on forward here. In above 10 seconds, this is going to be Tox's win, and Simplicity need to make a move, and they are just not clicking here, and Tox managed to stop the bleeding, and they pick up their 4th round win. 5-4 total, Simplicity in the lead after losing 3 straight.
As you brilliantly pointed out earlier, and I want to go back to it, something that we've seen some of the top tier echelon teams do, like your Reciprocity, like your EU's Finest, when they got a lead and they sat back and allowed the other team to push into them, allowed the other team to make mistakes, there's the ability in Gears 5 that we did not get to see as much in Gears 4 to have a defensive stand, to have a defensive hold and keep it properly. Tox in that round had that defensive ability, and they were able to just use the ropes, a little rope of dope, let people try to throw away their lives at them. They got too close. They got a couple of Nashers out, some good hip fires. Next thing you know, you got a couple of downs, a couple outs, and then the round is solidified in your favor.
I love watching this screen, and there goes the boom shot. Only one shot in it, though, because it is going to be on their side of the map. There was that indecision. You have the sniper locked. You didn't want to give him a weapon in the middle because when you've been fighting in the middle, it hasn't gotten in your favor if you're Tox. So they elected instead, give him some Bolt Tox, which, by the way, not a bad choice because that's a great sidearm to have in your pocket, especially with these Tox players.
Especially with who they gave it to. If I can read it correctly, they've given the Bolt Tox to Mental, who is probably as deadly as anybody in the entire world with it, especially with how many rounds come in the Bolt Tox off spawn. It's always been a powerhouse weapon, and right now in the hands of Mental, it is like Dirty Harry. It's a 44 mag, and you have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Kyle is going to try to get up close to make something happen.
Oh,
Billy,
no.
though, couldn't get out. Mental goes down. So the Boltok taken away from Kyle now, pushing up further. He sees Explosive all the way back in the spawn. He knows, though, that he's going to be in a 2v1 if he continues to push up. So I think Kyle will safely make the correct play and just save his life a little bit.
Play for the life here. Hold the angles, get the information. That's what's most important. He's literally going to be in info. But Kyle does get out of there. One boom shot. You see it for Zerpting. Could be the catalyst that leads to their match point. Explosive over in the outside. He's got summons with him as well. Yeah, they're just trying to bait them out, which is the thing I love most about watching this Tox team. You're seeing it play out in real time and how they make those moves, right? Every movement that this team makes, and even Simplicity as well. I am not to take anything away from them, but Tox, every movement they make is calculated.
I love Zerp to death, but I got a bad feeling about just roaming around with that boom shot in hand. I don't want him to get snuck up on. I don't want him to get accidentally headshotted by someone, something, or get somewhere and lose it for his team.
He has a teammate, though, to back him up. So if anyone tries to move around the flank, he'll be okay.
There's 3 down low, and then I think the other one is stand up in. There we go. He's all the way up here in Cinema. There's an actual route through the home that you can come behind that juicer bar and get into his backside. So they just need to make a correct push, and it needs to be called out for him not to get snuck up on. But there is an alleyway that could get opened up quite quickly.
You just need to be calling out, careful, and methodical. Kyle gets the shocks. Shock grenades are. I was talking with the crew in the back, and everyone said this is probably the most we've ever seen shock grenades played out in Gears of War. I remember I saw it, and I was like, wait, what? It was electricity over there. I was confused. But the shocks are such an amazing utility item that players now have full advantage of.
So do you remember that lane I talked about? Kenny got killed, they pushed through on that lane, and they still almost killed Zerp. Zerp now has to pull that boom shot off of his back. He's got no shots in it. He's got to continue to fight for his life, but again, they take care of Kenny. The boom shot wasn't able to pay off for him, and now there's the 2-to-1 hill, 2-to-no hill advantage, excuse me.
You made the call, Colin. It was very astute of you, and it makes a lot of sense. They recognize it, and they manage to take the boom away from Simplicity. They're poised to be able to pull this win away and tie this match up here in game number 1. Can you believe it? Just game 1, and we're seeing such a close matchup. If Simplicity do manage to win this one, imagine the confidence boost that it'll be for this team. And Tox pulling themselves away after Simplicity had the hot hand. There are so many things you can take from this game, and it has been awesome to watch so far. But for Simplicity, they're looking to lose this round. Tox can take this in 14 seconds, and they're pulling away from it. There's nothing more that they could do, and that is going to be GG. We're all tied up here, folks, in game 1.
So, again, lane coverage is the name of the game, and when you had that 2v2 down low, the one member each sitting in the juice bar and then one member up at that atrium, they were quicker to the action. Tox said, let's push the one kid sitting in Cinema. They got the kill. They knew that the boom shot was coming back up shortly, and they probably pushed at a perfect time because that was a secondary boom shot that had spawned. That's what they picked up and then got that next kill with. So they knew that the lane priority had fallen apart up top, and instead of being able to flip the map on the bottom, by the time Simplicity was able to react to it, it was too little, too late, 5-5 all.
And Solar's choice here was, I believe, long shot, added more ammo to it. And then looking at what Jerpy's going to do. The boom shot available to them. They get the shock grenade. Drop shot is locked for one more round. But that sniper, the long shot, it's available for Tox. And Solars was nasty with it earlier. Let's see if he does it again.
Up to 4 rounds in it, so now maybe you throw a round away or two trying to get a body shot, maybe trying to help a teammate just get a quick down. I'm expecting to see a 3v2 split, but it looks like we're going to see a 2-2-1 on the side of Simplicity and a 3-1 or a 2-1-2 on the side of Tox. Don't test him.
Do not
No reason to test him.
Look at the way he's backing away from the pillar, though. You see that, right? Because he had that third-person view, so he was able to tell that the sniper was looking at him, but he used that platform to just slowly back away and then roll out to safety.
Down now. They break ice there on the E-Hill because they go for the double cap right there early to try to get some point advantage. But they get the first down. They wipe Kyle off the map. Then they get nasty with a body shot. Like I said earlier, they use the sniper just for a body shot to make sure that they can ensure it down.
He's putting the fear of God in them with that long shot, Colin. That is right there the reason why you want the sniper in the hands of a player like Solars, because Simplicity respects that shot, respects that aim. You have to. You simply have to with what he has managed to do with it in this game.
They're going to give it off to Mental now. They've traded it off.
Another
after
great
2
player
shots.
with it.
So now Mental has the long shot with, I believe, 2 rounds in it, and they're going to allow Solars to kind of roam around again with that Lancer in his hand. Mental now, I think, is just as good as anybody with it. He's scoped in. He's trying to figure out with some information because they're going to continue to have a...
Yep. Oh, Kenny, you should have known better, man. You've teamed with the man. Mental, a fond memory I have of him was back in Gears UE, watching this guy snipe on Gridlock. It was just poetry in motion. The connection, though, oh man, those players are going to be stacked in the side, needing to run away from this one. They have the angles covered, Praise alongside with Mental, but they're going to push on in. Is Mental? No, Mental does not manage to get the player down. And that is so many players out of the action for Tox.
Solars, look at Summons, look at Summons. Solars and Summons both trying to hide, play sneaky, both trying to play for a damage game, but one of them's gonna get called out now. And with the possible domination coming in, they've given up the home hill of Tox. Tox might be able to make it back to their own home hill, but the point differential will go in favor of Simplicity now. So Simplicity now has to play defense on the respawned power weapons and utility weapons that will be coming up here shortly again.
Pay attention to the numbers at the top of your screen. Swarm will win in 32 seconds and counting. If it keeps on going like this, which we all know that may not be the case, Summons does get the long shot in his hands. Let's see what Summons can do with it now. Time's ticking though, Colin. They got to make a move.
They're looking for Summons to make a pick because Solars has 8 more seconds to come in. You're down 5-4 in lives, and you're looking for somebody to make an early ice break here to make one last final push. This is a last gasp, but here it comes with 6 seconds left. You have no time left to get on a hill. It will be a round in favor of Simplicity, I believe, and Golden Boy.
There you have it.
Simplicity has moved to map point on the reigning, defending, and what can only be described as the undisputed champions of Gears 4, which is Tox.
I cannot believe those are words that you just said, buddy. But Tox is not out of it yet. If there's one team that can find a way to pull themselves from the clutches of defeat, it is this Tox Gaming roster. Simplicity, on the other hand, playing exquisite Gears. Drop shot has been placed. More ammo.
More ammo in the drop, so now it's up to 4 shots. So they got 4 in the drop,
and it's
1
available.
in the boom, and it's available again. The favorite play toy of Simplicity from the first half has come back into their grasp. And if there is ever a time to say, I don't want to play around 13, I think that might be a short conversation Simplicity wants to have real quick, because I don't know if you want to go around 13.
No, and the boom shot now, Tox throws it down. So I think that is
opposite ends, though.
Yeah, so I think that boom shot, I wonder what their game plan is with that weapon. Take boom and then drag it on over through arcade and up to their home, or do you grab the boom and then run it up the gut? We'll find out.
I think you grab boom and you take it through mid-cut because you're going to try to catch those players coming out of the cinema with the drop shot.
Kenny has the drop shot. Let's see what Kenny can do with this. He's been a surgeon with it, putting it wherever he needs it to go.
Solars has the boom shot for the side of Tox, so we got to see where he goes with that boom shot.
Let's not forget that there was also...
no hills have been capped for Simplicity. They know that this round, the respawns are quick enough that if they even get a couple of kills, they might not be able to get that triple cap. So what they're looking to do is to get a massive amount of kills. It needs to be domino effect or better for them in this round before they can make any kind of movement.
I was going to say, I'm looking on Simplicity to see who has boom. No one has picked it up yet.
Yeah, no, they have not.
It's still up. And I think that's
it's a gamble.
Everyone can see it though, right? Like everyone can see how much time is left.
Yeah.
So it's not like your
Kyle
coaches
goes down
need to
trying
time
to cap up his own hill.
And he needs to get picked up.
Somebody's gonna have to make a move to try to pick him up, but they're gonna bring Jerpy in from the backside. No, he kills himself. He goes ahead and gives up his life to get the hill so that they can get some points.
Might as well. You'll come back quicker rather than waiting for someone to get out of position and then go pick you up. So that's an all right play.
E-Hill touched, going for a possible cap now. it will get capped. 2-1 hill advantage for Tox. That was beautiful play by them. They get that first down, they get that pick, they open up the map for themselves, and now they have a 2-1 hill advantage.
All right, now Kyle finally secured the boom shot, so they're going to have 2 hefty power weapons for Simplicity. But I'm afraid here, Colin, because it's kind of running away from them here. They're going to, in just a little over a minute, Tox could tie this match up.
Nasty's trying to get information on that player in the bandstand. There's the shock. He's cut off his exit web. The other one was too far as well. They're not going to get either of them to connect with him. There's the flash. Summons is a little bit stunned. He's damaged. He's down. They got to go. They got to push up for this right now.
Oh, and the boom
used
shot.
To perfection.
Oh,
now.
That was a smart play with the boom. That was a smart play with the boom, trying to draw them out to see if they can get another kill out of that one, but it didn't work out that way. Oh, but the snipe comes in from Mental from downtown. The connection with the long shot, and it's still going to be Tox. They have that advantage. They could win this one in 33 seconds.
I might be quoting a wise man from the top of the mountain, but when Mental has the sniper rifle, do not peek or 6 feet deep you seek. And here comes the pickup of the drop by Explosive. He's going to get taken out immediately, so the drop will be on the ground. Tox still has a chance to get the drop, though, before it despawns. But they are so far ahead in points, there's no real reason to do such a thing.
The game ran away from them, and that's going to do it, folks. We're all tied up here in game number 1. That's what you like to see at the Summer Series Invitational. 6-6. Man, what a game this has been.
This is a heavyweight knockout fight. I know we are no longer going 15 rounds in the professional world of boxing, but I think both these guys probably decided to go 15 because that's how many you need to knock somebody out. They're standing in the middle of the ring. They're sitting there with their managers right now, getting the blood wiped off the bottom of their eyes. I think Simplicity's ready to get back in there, though, and maybe go for the knockout blow in this one because it's all on the line now. Round 13, map 1. And you need that momentum going into map number 2.
What are they going to do?
Indecision. 5 seconds left.
I don't even know.
Give somebody utility. There you go. Zerb's got some nades now. He's got.
I don't even know if it's indecision necessarily. I think it's just, it's interesting you mentioned that because perhaps, but in my mind, it's just at this point, play the game that brought you to the dance. They've been doing a good job holding down that drop shot area. They just need to get Kenny shooting that gun quicker. That's it. Kenny held on to that weapon for way too long and didn't even use it.
Well, they have to rotate him out of there, but the problem is because of how good Mental is as a sniper, you can't move your chess pieces but so quickly. You can't force the action or the momentum in one way. Zerp gets smokes. That's why they use that utility. Get Zerp a smoke, allow him to clear out where Mental's line of sights were and use that drop, but Kenny's still not moving from the cinema area to get a better shot with that drop.
He's looking for that long connection with the drop shot. Now Jerpy with the boom. He's going to move around here, and the action slows down yet again. Tox does have the advantage because they have D and E currently covered in blue. This is it for all the marbles, folks, and Simplicity. They have to be kicking themselves if they lose this game. Huge opportunity for them to take a game against him. Summons, and it is going to hurt him. It does hurt Summons, and that is going to be Kyle for the connection, managing to bring him down. He is out, and then there goes another one as Solars went in to help his teammate out. But no, he will be felled by the drop shot instead. Things, though, are starting to crumble here as Tox pick up some more kills. That's going to be 3 players down. Nasty and Zerpting. Nasty's going to be out of this. Zerpting by himself. They're going to have to invest some spawns into this. This is it, folks. It's for all the marbles in game number 1. Zerpting's out of the action here.
See the smoke out now. They're trying to cloud the view. They don't want Tox to know how many people are inside that little house, but now they're going to have to flood out. Tox is going to get reset up. They're going to get a boom to their name. They're going to be able to get power weapons off of respawns, and they're going to be able to make a defensive stand here. I do believe this could be too little, too late for them.
It will really come down to a blunder from Tox, and I just don't see that happening. Boom shot eliminates Kyle. 2 players are going to be tucked in the corner. Easy pickings for this championship winning roster. Explosive gets a double. Kenny by himself over here in the platform. 12 seconds remaining, but Mental with the connection with the long shot yet again, who has been dominant with that power weapon. And it is going to be Tox after a grueling game 1. They take game 1 7-6. But Simplicity They played him close, and I like to see that. While you do have Explosive popping off on the other end of the stage, take nothing away from Simplicity. They rattled Tox for sure.
Oh, definitely. If you're going to get Explosive to stand up and start talking like that, something had to be done to get that kind of retaliatory response. And you see Simplicity must have had him on their back foot. And if you're Simplicity, the last thing you can have happen at this point in the game is to get down and get dejected on yourselves. You've got to stay up. You got to stay positive. You got to be staying ready to go. But one of the big things I want to point out there at the end of that map one, how many lives they could have been able to throw away. Tox had so many respawns still to their name.
Very true, my friend. What a game one it was, but it is going to be Tox who manages to take it away 7-6. What a matchup it was, but you don't want to miss the next one. We'll see you on the other side.
Good go, man.
Let's go! I'm telling you, I'm here! They don't remember! They don't remember! I'm telling you! Easy! Oh! We're here! We're here!
They were mad excited, right? Like, oh, we need 5 more?
Game one was a good old-fashioned barn burner here between Simplicity and Tox. But one of the reasons why Tox were able to come out on top 7-6 was because of this man right here, Mental. The shots that he was hitting, oh, disgusting. With that long shot.
You're the best in the league, this shit.
It's just another day in the office for Mental, man.
Perfect, precise, precision shots all day long. He's been doing it for years and
Imagine
years.
if I told you to finish like
just
everything you
peas,
said,
with just
this,
peas.
and then welcome back to now the Boost Mobile Caster Desk. Golden Boy alongside with Colin here. Crazy start for this game. This is the last matchup of the day, and they clearly don't want to go home.
I thought like they were going to hand out a title after this. I thought somebody was going home with some hardware based on how hard and how methodical both teams are playing. This is the best of the best. You've got so many great minds trying to figure out this meta all week long, and now they've gotten a good grasp on it, and you see what that turns into. That turns into two teams that know we have one push to win. We have this to do. We have to get one kill here.
Well, you mentioned the you know, like this, it was like almost as if they were playing for some hardware, but the reality is this is a single elimination competition, right? So there is no room for error, and I don't think either of these teams really did leave room for error. It came down to the wire. It came down to that final round. But if Simplicity loses next game, they're not going to an elimination bracket. No, they're going home. They're done. So yes, every match at this point now, it has always mattered.
Every match matters, and in this game mode, the way that these teams are playing, every single life will matter because you have those respawns now in this new version of Escalation.
Yeah.
You've got to always be mindful that your life is just another resource on the map, whether it be a power weapon, whether it be some kind of ammunition or a respawn timer or a utility grenade. Your life is just as important. It is another resource that you must keep track of all times. But as we spawn into the second map, Golden Boy, everybody's got those 5 respawns. Let's see how these teams value it.
There's one thing that these two teams don't need. It's training. But we are going to be in training grounds for map number 2, the new map that has been added for Gears 5. And we're going to be taking a look at Kenny. He was a star in the mid game with that drop shot, but unfortunately wasn't able to get the connections with it that he needed. Some more stuns starting to fly on in, though. And always remember about those lives, people. In the early game, when you go down in the fight, kind of like the way Solars is, you have to make that choice. Do you want to come back into the game and go for the fight, or would you rather just go and stay on that respawn and not come back into the action? We're going to be keeping tracks of that and so much more as this continues on. Also, they have flipped. Summons coming around the corner. They're dominating. Zerp and Colin nearly jumped out of his seat.
Better not blink your eye. Summons moves so quickly, so smoothly, so swiftly, but finally gets called out, taken out by Jerp. Jerpy now is in a 2v1 situation, and he knows he's got to basically play some defense because Simplicity will get control of that secondary hill, but they've got to keep it with a third member of Tox rotating back and forth. They're going to play a little bit of a swing offense here. I think they're going to go ahead and try to flip the map on its head and see who goes where.
You can hear that movement. You know when they're going to be leaving that
all
position.
5. Look at it, all 5. All 5 members of Tox on that side of the hill. The home hill side of the map has every member of Tox.
Forcing this defensive posture from Simplicity. No one really has that upper hand quite yet. Simplicity has 106 and counting to 77 for Tox, but it could go away in a heartbeat, just as you're seeing here. The home hill for Simplicity has now been captured. They're going to get possession of this.
And right there, Explosive on top of that cubby around the home hill. He basically went to a shooting gallery. Every time somebody popped their head, he gave them something to think about and then almost chased down those stairs after the next kill. But he said, you know what? I can pull back and play defense now with my 2 resources, my 2 soldiers at my back. We can take this hill with 3 of us and really hold a home hill setup. And again, at the overhead map, all 5 members of Tox, C hill, A hill, nobody's getting through. We've got the oversight, the overlook, and the outreach to kill everybody.
They have all the angles, though. Wonder how Simplicity is going to try and tackle this one. Jerpy with support by the U. Oh, and he's going to get beamed and down. No longer going to be a part of this fight, taking players out of the action here. And the spawns now starting to come on in. You have 3 for Kenny, 3 for Zerpting. They're going to have to use some more to get back into the game, or they just decide maybe it's not worth it.
This is not going to be worth it, I think. I don't think you need to invest yet another one because you see Zerp has the chance to respawn, has decided not to.
Same thing
Kenny,
for Kyle.
Chance to respawn, has decided not to. Now what you're going to look for is to see if Jerpy can maybe pick up another kill, maybe try to make somebody force a respawn for them to win the round. But here comes the triple cap, but the full wipe comes through. So again, the brand new way for you to win one of these rounds, Golden Boy. Wipe every member of the opposing team. Nobody's using a respawn. You get an automatic round win out of that. And you saw it slowly but surely. The dominoes fell in favor of Tox.
Yeah, players have an opportunity, 3 seconds, I believe. So a brief window to decide to jump back into the game. But when you've lost all 5 members and you're going to start from that respawn so far away from your home hill, it's pretty much pointless to try and invest into this unless the other team does not have the positioning in order to take one of the home hills, right? And then you can jump back into the fight. Maybe get yourself into it and hopefully look to pull off a win. That being said, we're going to be looking now, and flashbangs have been placed.
So you're saying my ROI wouldn't have been good? Wouldn't have had that big return, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
for business terms, for you know, you bring in the. I like the terminology of you know, like investment and life economy and return.
Yeah.
You know, I like it. You know, teach these kids about finances.
That's right. Gonna get your 401k pumping here on Gears of War. And you see Gears 5 being played oh so beautifully by 2 of the best teams to go at it. Flashbangs out early on.
Pretty sure the Coalition of Gears do not provide. Oh, Kenny with the team shot there. That's unfortunate. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the COG does not provide a 401k. I think their turnover rate's pretty high.
Yeah, I was going to say, the life expectancy inside of the COG is not very high. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Ask the Carmine family. They would tell you all about life expectancy in the COG.
It's true. It's true. You really can't set up a retirement fund when you're a part of the Carmines. Anyway, moving forward, though, Simplicity now. They're going to Wolfpack across and work together here. Just get to the other side and get into the home of Tox, but they're going to be pinned in that corner. Look at them all there with their marshmallows hanging out. Comes some utility, forcing praise out of it. The roll is going to go right into the Nasher of Nasty, who gets the headshot. 4 players here stacked on this side with the support. Jerpy marches on forward. Summons and Solars back to the respawn they go as Jerpy secures a dub.
So what I think happened right there is when they got inside that little small circle over the Lancer fire, you couldn't hear, but I think they were doing a little kumbaya, my lord, and they got the push going, and then the push comes through thanks to a little teamwork, and that will make the dream work, and you've got a 1-1 here in map number 2. Golden Boy, I love what we're seeing. It's back and forth. Nobody's going to lay down for this one.
No, and as they shouldn't. Tox have clearly proven that when the going gets tough, they get tougher. But Simplicity, they are not to be trifled with. They came into this game to win. They saw how all these teams today, teams that weren't in the big 4 in Gears Esports, were performing. And they said, you know, we have the ability. We have the skill, the experience. Look at the players on this roster. Surely they can put the Nashers and Lancers to work and get the job done. And gosh darn it, they nearly did in game 1. 7-6 score that did go to Tox, but we're here now in training grounds, game 2, and some choices have been made. Shocks have now been placed over by the B Hill, and then utility for Mental. They're going to give one of their forward players the option to, I believe that was Smokes, that they could throw out.
I believe. I can't. I can't really tell. It looks like a flash. The flash on the screen itself. Are you talking about down here in the loadout?
Oh yeah, that was Flash. Sorry,
Okay.
that was Flash.
Again, we see the
Old
big
age.
splits. 4 and 1 on either side. All fighting over this B hill. Kenny gets in a great position early on. Gonna pull his Lancer, trying to make people that go up to that overlook think about it. Ooh, big flashbangs.
That is certainly going to Smart there. Not feeling pretty good, but Jerpy gets a kill on explosives. Here goes Praise, though. They have numbers over by B. Nicely done. And that is going to be 4 down for Simplicity. Let's jump into a listen-in with Tox and hear how they're looking to take this next round.
Yeah, they're spawning.
They're spawning, remember.
Flank him.
They're spawning, guys. They're spawning.
How'd you?
Dead, I'm dead.
He's there.
Yeah, I have shots. I have shots for you.
I'm gonna go down middle. I'm gonna go down middle. I got him.
Go back up. Keep backing up.
Back up.
Go to B, boys. Go to B.
I'm gonna pick. I'm almost out. I can't go B. Impossible.
Did we ever grab the shocks on B?
Bro, I'm in a pickle, bro. So hurt.
You want this too?
I'm about to get our.
I'm out of here.
You're no.
Oh, this is easy.
I have a shock. Yo, I shot skills exit. I'm running up top. I ran up top.
I got flash.
I have up top.
I'm gonna go up with you. I got your.
Yo, all the mad heads here.
I'm shooting top for you. Matt hurt. I'm gonna flash your side for you.
Right. Fucking
Dozer.
I have shots soon.
Middle B.
Nice, good job.
Alex, pressure good.
Easy, bro.
Take two.
I'm coming B.
Take two, fellas.
Take two. I'm pulling up with the shock, matter of fact. Let's secure the bag.
That's 4 dead. Take 2.
They're not spawning. It's all around.
Oh yeah. That flash.
Wait, they spawned?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Alright, bro. Yo, watch the other side.
Yeah, the big stairs.
How'd you stun that?
Big stairs.
Fuck out of here.
Big stairs.
Get their
Oh
ass.
yeah. What are you talking about? Trash.
Beautiful, good job, guys.
Shit.
Billy. Shit. Alex.
Make sure to grab our shock right there, bro.
Tox secure round 3, 2-1 score. But you got a question. Why would you invest into that one at the end there if you're Simplicity?
So something I want to point out is it was pointed out so precisely perfect in the pregame by our very own Guy Blaze. He said the hierarchy on Tox, is without a doubt the strongest in the game. Explosive told Praised, I need you to go back to B. Praise said, I'm hurt, I'm in a pickle, I can't get to B. Explosive said, go back to B. He said it a second time, and I'll give you 3 guesses where Praised ended up very shortly.
I think it was B.
He ended up at B, ladies and gentlemen. He did what he was told to do. Unquestionable. The leader of Tox is Explosive. What he says goes, and it continues to be listened to by his soldiers, and that field general continues to put forth a great effort. And as we look down the line of the lives and the respawns, Nasty on the side of Simplicity, down to 3 respawns here in round number 3.
And I believe Nasty was one of those players that loaded back in. He respawned back in when they really didn't need to at the end. Solars gets possession of the long shot down low. Kyle and Kenny, though, they're going to make him pay, taking out 2 players. And now he's going to get the long shot. Let's see what Kyle can do with this.
And he's no scrub with that thing. He's just as storied of a sniper as anybody in this game. He can make your head disappear like his name was Houdini, baby.
Look around. He's got the overlook position. Summons, as well as his teammates, right across on A. Fearful of what Kenny can do here. There you go. Put the fear in them. Put that shot out. It wasn't going to result to all that much if he got the headshot or maybe connection. That'd be all well and good. There was no one there for the follow-up. Really, you're just trying to exact that, that presence onto them. Here comes Solars around the corner. No angle for him. Maybe he could get the top of the head, but it's not really going to happen here.
You need brain matter if you want the kill, baby. You can't just shoot at the top of that cover and hope that something happens. You see Kyle still surveying the area. They have the 2-1 hill lead, but down in the bottom, look, down in the bottom of the closet. Somebody has gotten underneath the overlook. I believe that is Explosive that has gotten underneath that overlook and is hiding now mid-map, and here comes the push. Yes, it is.
Oh, but Kyle gets the headshot on Mental, looking for another, doesn't connect with it. Summons down low. Can he find it? No, it ain't really going to work from that angle. That's good. He does connect with the shot, though. And now Summons is in a lot of pain. He's going to have 25%, I believe I saw there before he managed to get some of that back.
You got heavy breathing going on the side of Summons after getting that body shot from that sniper. Here comes another shot out, but it misses. And now here comes the troops for Tox. They're going to have to push up. Nasty. Big kill, though, on Praised.
Summons, he's at 3% health. He's going to go down. His teammates there for the pickup, but that is going to leave this one player by himself. Now this is where Tox start to march on in. Kyle's got to hold the line here. Manages to take down one, gets another, but his teammates right there for the support. Jerpy, does he follow it up? No, Jerpy's out of this.
And with 4 dead, Nasty last alive. He gets clocked down. Zerpting uses a respawn. He's looking to try to make something happen. They know they had control over this matchup, but he invests an extra life, ladies and gentlemen, to no avail. That is a completely wasted resource. I don't know if that was him thinking he could make the hero play and save the round to make it maybe 2-2, but with that extra life invested by Zerp, you just lose another round down, and you're down another resource going into round number 5. Take a deep breath, a big woosah there, Nasty. Get your troops in line. Let's figure out what has to be done here. And Golden Boy, I like what I just saw because now we got a boom shot on the monument side of the map, or a drop shot on the monument side of the map.
And that's going to be for Tox. Now Jerpy, what's the choice going to be? They're pretty good with a drop shot themselves.
I think you go utility here. I think you go utility. Either somebody's going to get smokes. Yep.
There it is. So the smoke has been placed on the King Raven side. Now here we go. 10 eliminations for Kenny. He's been having a great game, but Explosive Solar's mental also performing incredibly well.
And on the side of Simplicity, you'd have as many resources as you could want to throw away if it were not for Zerp. Zerp has 4, everybody else is up to 5.
Yeah, you discussed the use of that spawn, but the one thing that I've noticed in this game between Tox and Simplicity has been the lack of investment on the respawns. If they don't need to, they just don't go for it. They would prefer to just save it rather than try and waste it.
But that just makes the stakes in the later rounds even higher. Round 6, the stakes are as high as they can be because you can throw everything in the kitchen sink at somebody, and then in round 13 you can do the exact same thing. I think they believe they had Nasty on the back foot there, and they tried to push up and get a kill, but they're going to turn around, get the flank on Kyle to no avail.
That's 2 down, 3 down, 4 down for Simplicity. And Zerpting is going to be over on the A side, and here comes the swarm, both literally and figuratively. They're going to push up. There goes Kenny, right behind, trying to help out. They're going to invest into this one. Swarm will dominate in a few seconds here, but they're going to have players circling around it. Domination has been denied. Explosive gets a double. Yeah, and that's the problem. When you got Explosive popping off inside there, it caused such a ruckus that players just simply are not expecting it. And there comes more members of Tox on the push-up. Simplicity have not been able to get possession of A at all, despite their having players around that area.
Stop investing. This is almost an unwinnable situation, Golden Boy. They've put them so far in the hole now. They've invested at least 2, 3, 4 extra lives to try to get them off of their home hill. And guess what? They're doubled up in points now. So now you're going to go for one final push. You're in round 4, or you're around 5 of the half. So you got this round and another. But Solars takes the head off of Nasty. I don't know if this is. You've got to make this round or the next round be your last stand of the first half. Because
well, we're going to find out. We're going to find
out
in a second. Does Nasty put anything into this? No, Nasty's not going to come back into the game. And I don't think Kenny and Jerpy are either. Yeah,
Kenny
wisely
did,
enough.
Nasty did, Jerpy did.
Wait, they're back in.
Everybody respawned. They're going for a last gasp here. They're going to push up because Kyle got that kill in the middle, and I think that opened things up for him.
So much to look out for here in Gears 5. What are players going to look to put into this? Who picks up the critical kill that could maybe change the tides of battle here? Kyle with that sniper could be the hero that this team needs. Nasty's going to be tucked away in a corner. Jerpy's down, and Kyle doesn't have an angle, and that is going to do it, folks. Tox are looking to go up 4-1 here with 3 seconds remaining. That is going to be a wrap.
I am baffled, buttled, and I feel like a buffoon thinking that they would not continue to invest lives in that situation. And then I watched 3 members quickly waste another respawn.
Would you say you're a little bamboozled?
I would be a little bit bamboozled right now as well. Any other B confusion words you can think of? You want to go with the source for us?
Betwixt? I don't know if betwixt works.
I don't know if that works either.
I have used betwixt in a lot of sentences, though, in the past. I'll tell you off
That's
podcast.
a good SAT word.
It is. Oh, man. All right. Well, 4-1. Tox Gaming. After the slobber knocker, that was game one. Really, that's really the only thing I could say. And then the disable. All right, so you have disabled the drop shot, not allowing Tox to get that. And I don't know if I guess the presence of the drop shot has been the problem for them in some respects. But I don't know. They just haven't really been winning their initials.
They're not winning the big fights. And when I say big, it's a team fight. It's 3 of us are here against 3 of you there, and they're not getting kills. Look, Kenny goes down, Jerpy goes down. Explosive is going to get picked right back up, so maybe he can get counted out. So they're going to get 1 out of that, but that's not a trade necessarily because I think Kyle's going to go down as well. No, he won't.
Oh, Kyle's still going to be in this fight, Colin. Somehow, some way, managing to pull it together, and he gets another one on Mental. That opens it up, the floodgates for Simplicity. Something that could give them an advantage in this game. The decap on B is going to have teammates to go and push forward. Maybe give him some support.
Critical Kyle from the great state of Oklahoma. He has his Boomer Sooner shirt on underneath that Simplicity jersey, and he's playing like he was for a national championship right here, right now, making big plays for Simplicity.
They have B and C, but no lead. There's Kenny waiting for anyone to come through that cross.
But they're down by 50. It's going to take a hot minute for them to see who can get the win condition off of this because it's a little too early in the round to tell. But look at that again. They've called the 5-man push. Nasty will get stunned and pushed off that corner. He's going to have to roll all the way out.
Tox do this so well. They push players out of it. And then they're also stopping the push around the flank. Look at that. I mean, the way that Tox just read it, they knew that Nasty wanted to come around the corner there and try and put the pressure on him around the side. Nasty goes down out of the fight. Explosives is going to be the reason why that happens as well with the cleanup. Praise gets that kill, though. That gets the credit, I should say. 2 players down now for Tox. Summons and Mental. And this is going to be an investment potential for Tox.
Oh, yeah, you invest everything. This is round 6 of the half. You're going to get all your respawns back. I don't care what you throw at them. You got to make this round be 5-1 if you're Tox. You don't give them a chance to get any breathing room or feel like they're getting back in this game, and they're doing just that behind the back of Explosive where he's getting a kill. He's going to get Nasty down. They're going to take him out. So you see here, as much as Simplicity's putting up a fight, you see the guys for Simplicity never giving up. Tox is just too much to handle.
Ooh, and right around the corner, an Explosive caught him looking. The domination potential, yes, there it is, 5-1. And just a reminder for everyone at home and how it works. When we hit round 7, everything resets as far as your respawns are concerned. So Nasty, he's at 1 respawn. He's going to get it all back. That is what changes on the half. You don't wipe the weapons like you did in Gears 4. This time, you just give everyone more respawns to work with. But Colin, something you had just pointed out to me on the screen, just a little investment from
Solars
Tox.
and Summons still had all 5
That's
possible respawns in the final round of the first half. You're not forcing them into worse enough positions for them to have to invest extra lives to win rounds. And you cannot let that happen playing a team like Tox. You give them extra lives to fight you with, you got to fight the 5 best players in Gears 4 multiple times. No, thank you. Not today.
2 players down. Jerpies in respawn. I saw another player down, but I think he just got picked up. Kenny with the sniper. Kenny put it to good use here. Another player that's no slouch with the gun in his hand. But Solars.
There's the reinforcements.
Nasher kill on to Kyle. Right around the corner, Kenny. He's looking for that angle. He doesn't connect with it, though. He doesn't connect with it. Now he's going to be full red, and he has to get out of there. Here comes Nasty, though. Nasty with a double. And he's going to just skirt around the U here. Mental. I think he tried to go and meet him around the corner.
Man, that is a dream matchup if I've ever seen one. If you've ever wanted to watch a 1v1 in Gears, wouldn't you want to see Nasty, the old guard, versus Mental, the new guard, going head-to-head, toe-to-toe, but with a little bit of help from his friends? Nasty will get the better of that exchange here at the top of the Overlook.
Kyle coming in at a critical moment there. So living up to the critical Kyle name. Some more kills, though. And more investment for Tox. Mental comes back into the fight now. That's going to leave him with 4 respawns. Every member of Tox has fallen. And
But you can
because of
invest.
that,
So
Prey's
something-
actually at 3 respawns now.
Something we noticed a lot early on, and when we were playing and testing the game this week, is in these first rounds of the halves, you can invest 1 to 2 lives because you get that extra life back. So if you go down to 4, you just go right back to 5 in the second round. So if you get down to 3, it's not as bad as you might think because you're going to go right back up to 4 after this round. So the 2 life investment doesn't seem like too big of a hill to overcome early in the halves.
If you're wondering as well earlier, why is it that the players didn't take out the guy that was down over there? He was in a DBNO state. The reason why is because it's Warzone rules, so the player cannot get back up like they could in Gears 4. Because so many melees were just exchanged there from explosives. But he's going to fall courtesy of Kenny. Now here we go.
It is not Marcus's first rodeo either.
No, it is not at all. 3 players down for Tox. Solars does have the long shot by F. You see him on your screen. He's got Praise alongside him as well. And Zerfting, he ate a lot of that damage there. Needs to just drop back. But they have that map control.
They're holding Praised and Solars to the home hill of Tox. So that means Explosive Summons and Mental. The OGs of that original team at the start of Gears 4 are trying to make something happen at E. Explosive threw away his life, basically. He knew he was down and he could
I like that
die,
idea,
but he was
though.
trying to get the break.
Hey, because, maybe they didn't see him.
Yeah, maybe I can just crawl. They won't see the
way.
blood trail. They won't see the evidence as I climb into the E hill.
Just try and break it, maybe. Good attempt there. Just forcing them to put attention in that area as well. Every action in Gears of War truly matters.
Somebody needs to get up under that overlook and get the shots on. There you go. You see the shots coming in from the overlook now. They had the down, but the revive comes through. So with that hill being decapped, it goes right back in favor of Tox. They have to get on that hill. They have to get the recap here, but they won't. They won't get it. Tox might even get it themselves.
They got to start to make some moves, people, or else Tox could find themselves on series point. The pickup happens. Here comes Nasty now. Nasty has been discussing with this shotgun, but it's not going to be enough there. Does get 1 kill. Can't follow up with another. His teammate went to go and maybe get that pickup just in time, but it wasn't going to be coming to fruition, I should say. Kenny. And that's going to be Kenny's last gasp effort there on E. And we're getting down to the wire, folks. 12 seconds remaining. Kyle. Connection on Solars, maybe looking for another one. Has to get that push forward. Mental, he's gonna go down, and Kyle coming up clutch there is gonna hold this one down, and that's gonna give him the slight edge. What a win there, and Simplicity just like that. They managed to get their first round win after losing 4 straight.
And that was on a knife's edge. It was down to under 10 seconds. Everybody had to be perfect in their roles. Kyle comes through with a massive double kill. And on the opposite side of the map, Zerfting taking care of business, getting the home hill of Tox and forcing them to be not off respawn because they did not invest further in it. They took the round on the chin. They're still up 5-2, Tox Gaming is. But that's life from Simplicity you want to see. That's the fight they need to show here for the next couple of rounds to get them right back into it.
Simplicity have elected to place the Marksa down by Uplink, and then on the other side, the Marksa for Tox. Here we go. Can Simplicity bring this one back from the jaws of defeat? Or will Tox find themselves in match point, series point? Let's find out as we jump right back into this. Here's the overlook and
4-1.
what we're going to be expecting to find here. Zerfting gets that Marksa for his team. That last game had so much investment on the respawns. Solars with the first blood on Jerpy, though. Kenny's going to be inside of the box. Does get out of there. Oh, no, the chainsaw! Oh, the humanity. The chainsaw comes out from Tox Gaming.
And
that is a rough one.
That looks even better in this game because it's no longer just the melee of the chainsaw because everybody has that nice knife melee here in the versus mode. You got to hold right bumper to rev the chainsaw in Gears 5. So just as impressive as you can imagine getting that thing off in somebody's face down there in the cubby because you're used to having to press that B button, maybe go for that knife, but let me do a little style points for you, get the execution going.
Disrespecting. Well, wouldn't have it any other way. For Tox, this could be a 2-0 victory, and they'll be moving on to tomorrow's games where I believe they're going to face off against, I want to say,
They would face off EU's Finest.
EU's Finest.
They're on the bottom of the bracket.
Who they played in a very close game in the Swiss stages. All that did happen off stream to determine who was going to be our seedings, who was going to have that #1 seed, so on and so forth.
Simplicity has 3 on this side with range, as you see Zerp with the Marksa in hand. And somebody has to make a move. Zerp up there in what I like to call the heaven call out, because it's up on the top. You can kind of see everything. You're in the high heavens. You're looking down on anybody down there at the E-Hill, down in the mid-cut. And with 74, 73, 72, tick, 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 tick. Time
so
and
much
your
range.
life is fading away.
There's
So you
so
gotta
much
come
range.
through with this.
You got the long shot. Not only that, but you also have the marks that
Big
are going to
shots
be
by
in play.
Zerp.
Yeah, great connection there across map, helping out Kyle and his teammate. He's going to have explosive pushing up on the flank here. And Zerpting recognizes that and decides to get out of dodge. No reason for him to have to deal with that fight. At least in the position that he was in, but now he's going to be full red. Woo! Solars jumps right on in front of him. And Kenny's going to go right back to the respawn. Simplicity, as it currently stands, will win this in
2 minutes.
2 minutes, but just as I say that, it's going to be Tox now.
Back and forth. They need to get the cap in. They need to get to the E-Hill. You see how Tox is slowly starting to set up again another push. Kyle tries to hold it off. He knows he's got the stun. He's going to hit that first shot, but not enough will come through. And I believe he got hit with the long shot. I believe Kyle got hit with a long shot.
There goes Nasty, though. Nasher in hand, chasing down. Player going to be tucked away in the back over here by what was once B. Goes back to get his teammate. So important, but is it going to really change things up? It's going to change the impact, the outlook of this game and where things have been so far. 2 players are now going to go down for Simplicity. This could very well be it. You have 2 guys in the corner there now. They got to push out. They got to get something here, Colin, or else it's going to be map point, series point. Tox Gaming could take this one.
Summons using the Marksa to perfection. That carbine rifle took Nasty's head clean off his shoulders. And now match point for Tox. And it says right there on Praise hoodie, that sweatshirt he's got on, excuse me, you thought we were done. And I believe Praise would like to tell each and every opponent that thought they could take them down this weekend, you thought.
Hey, even in game 1, Simplicity, they thought that they were going to be able to take them out. Was not going to be the case, though. Simplicity looking to get eliminated from this competition. Tox, 1 more round is all it takes. What is placed? So, Simplicity, well, I would say Tox has actually placed a boom shot. And now this is going to be Kyle's turn to pick for Simplicity. What are they going to do here?
They're going to upgrade.
Yeah, and I think the drop shot is also active now.
Retro.
There goes the retro.
So drop back in the favor of Tox. The disable has now come off, and the disable, ladies and gentlemen, new to this game. Instead of just a clean block for the entirety of the game, you now may only disable your opponent's weapon choice for 3 full rounds.
And those 3 rounds have passed, so the drop shot's back in play. It only has 1 shot in it, though. But that 1 shot is more than enough to turn the tides in the favor of your 17-time Gears Pro Circuit champions. Goes Kyle. Pushes out, but no. Solars gets the headshot on Kyle as he wrapped around the corner, hoping to try and catch his opponent off guard. Did not happen at all. Another thing of note here as well is that Kyle and Jerpy have 2 and 3 respawns respectively. But on the other side, Explosive, Summons, and Praise, they've invested a lot each and every round. Summons and Praise have 2 respawns left, and Explosives has 3 respawns left. Kyle with just 1 respawn remaining for Simplicity. I know that was a little all over the place there, but you got to point out those respawns because they're going to be so important.
Though. So even with the 2 respawns low on Summons and Praise, Solars and Mental could invest the entire mortgage on this map in the second half. They have everything for 2 players to throw at somebody, whereas on the side of Simplicity, they are down to just their last breath. They are in the ICU at this point. They are beat up. They are broken. They need somebody to bring them back from the brink. They need something to happen for them. They need a big break here.
Solars with that sniper rifle could potentially remove the possibility for Kyle to respawn. But Kyle had to be careful there because he got chunked by that Marksa. That was Summons. Made him pay for that one. How dare you poke out there. Try and get aggressive.
Oh, no.
Kyle with the Retro Lancer. Not enough support to help his teammate Nasty out, who ends up paying for that one with his life.
Nasty now will have to invest another respawn.
He's got a
Because
few
you no
to
longer
spare,
you
though.
you can't save anymore. You're down to match and map point. You have to throw everything you can. Jerpy's gonna have to back off here. He's gonna have to play defensively. He's got no help.
Few of these
Kyle's still
players,
holding strong.
they still have respawns to work with, but your man Kyle here, this is the one that I'm really, really nervous about. One respawn remaining. And looking at the score, Tox will take the lead as they have possession of E and F.
Kenny, he's trying to get the information necessary of where to throw that shock, where maybe to invest his utility. But Nasty's down in the middle. He also has Solar's down. Solar's will
Gets
get
a
cleaned
cleanup.
off. Pick Nasty, there you go. Solar's one of those players, though, that had almost all, I think he had 4 or 5 respawns, so he's going to be able to invest
He's got
almost
5.
immediately. And without worry,
Oh, no.
explosives will get Kenny and Nasty.
Oh, this isn't
and
good.
the sniper.
This isn't
there
good.
goes Kyle.
Kyle's out of the action now, but they're going to have to put something into this one or else Tox they're going to win this in 40 seconds. Zerpting, he's holding down their home. Explosive
no.
giving him the
He's
thumbs up.
taunting, just
Try
a
and
taunt.
try as you will is what Explosives is saying, but the reality is right in front of you. In 30 seconds, they will win this map. They will win this series if it keeps going like this. Here comes the push, though, from Simplicity, Colin. Is this going to be enough for them to be able to turn the tides, get back into this game? Jerpy's going to be out of it. Solars gets a team kill, but takes out Jerpy in turn with the drop shot. Kenny's down, and now he's going to be out, and that is going to be another respawn that Kenny needs to put forward here. 30 seconds remaining, but Nasty with that Nasher gets summoned out of the fight.
And like that, Golden Boy, my favorite analogy I've ever used for Tox, they are an avalanche. If they're coming down the mountain, which is what they're doing, when they have respawns and resources in their favor, and they can just overwhelm you,
And there you have it.
smother you, they will put you down and put the game out.
GG, Tox pick up the win 7-2, but what a series it was. Simplicity have a lot to be proud of given how hard they played in game 1. Even though Tox won it 7-6, they had to dig deep for that victory. And then we move forward to training grounds, and this is where Tox, as Colin had mentioned just a second ago, they suffocated their opponents and thus granted themselves the victory. Tox move on to face off against EU's finest tomorrow. What a game that was, man. What a game.
Yeah! Yo, don't choke that! Don't choke that! Oh, we get round 13. You're the best, Billy. Good shit.
Told you, but give me that sniper, bro.
I swear to God, bro, like, we always, like, have fake trouble against the bum teams. It's happening.
Yo, me and Brian are different, bro.
Good job, guys.
Yo.
Billy.
Alex, pressure good. Pressure good.
Easy,
Pressure
bro.
good. Pressure good.
Baby.
Hit it.